Okay, I have a couple of minutes to live stream because I still need to eventually do a load of laundry, whether I do it today or not. It's very rainy, so I saw the news. Um, so your president told you that the hostages are being murdered. If you haven't watched the news today, okay. And then later on, your reporters were reporting to you that doctors are being murdered and that people had to go in there and get to them food and water. Sometimes, if people aren't in the chat, then I don't know. And sometimes reporters will ask people about what they just heard, if they could explain back to us what they just watched and what they heard. Oh, yeah, and that the president is asking, after you're done murdering the hostages, if you can release the corpses to them. Okay, and stop labeling people as vagrants and homeless people and that don't next of kin when you purposely don't notify their families or their next of kin or their friends. That was a couple of years ago. People were reporting about missing people. So, as I explained, for what I can gather, homeless is the new word for Jew here, just like in Nazi Germany. Clearly, over 15 years, I've reported my observations and the Holocaust being done unto myself. Forcing people to wear the same clothing, not allowing us to bathe, not allowing us to use toilets, not allowing us to brush our teeth, refusing to let us into a grocery store. So that's just some of the things. Telling us to move from everywhere we are. Forcing us to sit up in chairs day and night in what you're calling a shelter. Taking our children, accusing us of being all these various things when you have no evidence of that whatsoever, for the most part. Most people that I can tell. Clearly, a lot of people have been put on medication because they have serious brain injury and they tip over, and you're saying they're nodding off and they're on drugs or they have brain injury. It's a presentation of brain injury. I watched a person who's diagnosed with, she's 100% disabled on a psych, and I watched her tipping, as you're calling, and she doesn't take heroin.
Nodding.
Saying people are nodding off because you don't let us sleep. Did I say vagrants already? That was another term. Saying people are pending. For years, they were reporting to you about the unemployment claims. Money is supposed to just be flowing like it was in Germany. Those things are not supposed to be happening. Okay, so doctors can't treat you when they're being murdered in a Holocaust because your population has dementia. You had a major nuclear event in 2011. It causes an initial stroke in the brain. Apparently, it's called an ecchymic stroke, and then it's a progressive brain death. Most of the behaviors can be pointed out as primate behaviors that aren't sane. Twisted up mirroring back what you think other people are doing and saying, deciding you're other people. At first, it might appear that these people want money for the hostages. Okay, and then you'll see that no amount of money will stop them from harming their own hostages as the brain disease progresses. Making up crimes we haven't committed, attacking us, and then calling the police on us. They're talking about strokes on this TV now, about some guy had a stroke while driving. Anyways, it's not a traditional stroke. These strokes can't be repaired. Hi, how you doing? Brian's here. We were having a pretty good morning, and then we had a little bit of contradictory speech outside, but that's all right. That happens. Oh, that was the other question. Well, it's very stressful, forcing us to be outside, and the man has a brain injury. Okay, so you're exasperating his mental health condition. I would assume you have an appointment on the 1st, Brian, but what's written on my book, it says 10 a.m. Brian, Volunteers for America, but it's pointing to the 8th.
There's one on the 8th as well.
Okay.
Scholastica's on the 8th.
Okay. I have an appointment on the 8th at 1, and I have to be in the office for that to sign releases for my Social Security case. So he usually does his via telehealth, which is more difficult when we're not here. But I don't think my therapist, who's actually also a social worker, cares if it's private or not, because she knows that the gist of our conversations at this point are not really private. She's doing what she can do. So it's clearly insane what happened to us with the apartment and having me set up an electric and then sending me an electric bill. But she's becoming accustomed to these things, as other people around me are. Okay, that it's not, I'm not telling you something, I'm not giving you the whole story. Right, something is missing. Those are all excuses for not wanting to deal with reality. Okay, clearly something weird is going on where people are targeting certain people and they will not stop doing it. Good afternoon. Hi, this is one of my fans. So I miss Aaron Carter. I totally thought about Aaron Carter after the James Byrne debate thing. It was just weird when he wasn't online anymore. It was someone that was always online that we could tune into. And it sort of helps cope with everything that's going on. Um, for me personally, drugs and alcohol are not really an option. That's not something that helps me cope.
Did you have some ice cream?
I did. I had a whole bunch of it last night, so have as much as you want. I had a whole cup of it. In terms of this head cold, I do feel better today, but I'm still having like a scratchy throat, and I smoke cigarettes, so and I think there's allergies anyway. It's just every once in a while. Like it's one of those things I was probably sleeping with my mouth open. And like I said, I smoke and there's allergies, so just have a drink. I'm having like naughty instant coffee because it has sugar in it. And then I've got some trail mix I'm gonna eat. So ongoing issues with pressure in my head and my neck from stress and carrying stuff around. And just clearly it's been 15 years of this shit. So it seems a little bit better right now, yeah. Like if I can get all that stuff to crack and realign once the muscles relax, it gives a lot of relief. My ankle has been fine and my knee has been fine, which I was because I got the new sneakers. Remember Jenny Apple? Because I do. Just her walking around with her arms in a certain way because she was in so much pain.
Bring out the garbage.
I know I that and the laundry, but I think the laundry is sort of secondary. Probably should take out the trash. Yeah.
Get it in a little bit.
I was just talking about that woman, Jenny Apple, that did 2 years of video blogs from the day that she got her lung cancer diagnosis till she passed. It was really helpful. Whereas Aaron Carter's was sort of like a big secret, but he did mention cancer at one point, and he said something about the dentist. They do sometimes catch it because of your jaw. Um, he may have been using fancy computer equipment, so we didn't see how skinny he was. Remember how they were doing all that with the things during and right.
All right, Tucker, let's check out some flash flooding that happened there in Wareham just before 10 a.m. You can see the
What
cars
is making
lining
that
up,
noise?
serious standing water, never a good idea.
That's got to be some kind of bird, right?
Roads as well,
Yeah.
watching the areas that we know can be prone to flooding. Boston 25 News reporter Amel Elhel live on 128. Amel, near Needham and the Wellesley area. What are you seeing right now?
I was explaining to Brian outside in case people forgot or you're new about some of the things that God does when you're sober. He's like Darth Vader, and you have a lot of incorrect thoughts in your brain, and a lot of it is subconscious. And so he will amplify an incorrect thought. And then whether or not we understand it is incorrect, or then he enters and makes you think that's not a correct thought. That's insane. That doesn't make any sense to what I was just talking about, or something like that. Okay. And then I felt it happened, and I just sort of just walked away. Video blogging is wicked good for that, and journaling. I spent at least a year or two doing that. And I would literally go, stop saying that, stop doing that, because I knew he was doing it. I guess I'm more accustomed to it. I knew he was doing it. It's cognitive behavioral therapy. That's how God does it. Yeah, I was just saying the opposite of that. What the hell? He takes it to the extreme. Like if you're angry about something, I would be like, we should just birthday cake them all. And then you go, whoa, I think that's a little bit over the top, though. Not this going on. I'm not talking about that. No. Just talking about every day, angry about something. Don't get mad, babe, please. But just, I guess if I drank once, then I could go to CSS. Okay, that's God talking as Darth Vader.
No, you go to detox, not CSS.
Okay, that's God talking as Darth Vader. These people are supposed to give us housing and or Social Security so we can leave Massachusetts. Okay? And we can rent a trailer or buy a trailer or live in an all year campground. Not we all have to drink and go to a detox. No one likes being outside. We're not even alone. We're with each other. And we're here now. We're not out in the rain. So let's not give up on the shelter until they tell us we didn't get a bed. And then the warming center opens on December 1st. We made it a whole year. Last year was worse. Okay. Someone attempted to give us shelter and they threatened to evict us. And then we're flying to Florida. There's mice crawling on people under a bridge. Just, you got to believe clearly someone's doing something about that. We literally witnessed people. It's not a hallucination. We're not in a walkabout. Okay. Brian's not a prophet, so that wouldn't happen anyways. We literally witnessed people laying under an underpass in Orlando with mice crawling all over them. And Brian was concerned and said, do you know that there's mice here? And the woman just looked at him like, really, dude? Yeah, we know there's mice here. What are we supposed to do? Okay, so we went to the other overpass, which had ants. I was told, because they separated us, even though we're married, they separated us to interview us separately because they're profoundly mentally insane. They've got to rescue us from each other. Everybody's a domestic violence because you're being told about what's going on your land piece, not with domestic violence. You're domestic terrorists. So anyways, they don't house married people. So I don't want to hear it from other people that that's not true. That is what they do in Orlando. You have to have a dependent minor or you're not a family. So you're clearly doing nothing about your population control. It's getting worse as your brains are dying in your heads. There's nothing anybody could do. Okay, there's nothing anybody could do. So, anyways, you have to have faith in God and read the Bible and understand the Passover. Okay. God knows about the nuclear weapons. That's the sun of man. It's a man-made sun that goes a lot of heat and ionizing radiation. So God knows about it. And that it's crucified. It's sent up to be crucified. So God knows. There's already an extinction ongoing. And because of the progressive dementia, the cancer is a blessing, not a curse. So we are explaining to you things that are already being done to people. Okay. There's literally no stopping it. Okay. So NATO and God Almighty are stopping it. Okay. So it's good. Everybody remain calm. Okay. Because that's all you can do. Okay. And you need to know about the atrocities so that you know the alternative. They're aggressive, they're mentally retarded, and they have dementia. And they're not going to stop what they're doing. Okay. It's just like an animal that will not stop. There's only so many years you demand that these people be housed. And it's just not going to happen. We're waiting for these people to pass away, and then perhaps, hopefully, people are getting the Social Security approved, which is not enough to pay rent in Massachusetts, but I am willing to leave. I want to leave. I'm a hostage here. If you leave Massachusetts with DTA cash, they shut it off and they shut off your food card. Okay, so that's a hostage, not I'm a willing citizen here. That's what they say when you leave, because they are ill too. They'll shut your cash off. They don't just shut my cash off, they shut my food off. And then you're not letting me in a shelter. Okay, bye. And they think they accomplished a task. They'll need to win their last 4 games and have both the Blue Jays and the Yankees lose the last 4 to win the AL East. The Sox Blue Jays game. I tried to explain it to Brian that the news is not upsetting to me, but if it's upsetting to him, he changed it. So he thought that I had an appointment Tuesday. He has an appointment. Okay, so I will make sure he gets to his appointment. Right, the Social Security doctor. So this should be interesting. Okay. Hopefully, Mass General and Spalding sent his medical records to Social Security, because Social Security has requested from them more than once. Okay. His family have held 100% of the team since he purchased it back in 1994. At that time of the sale in 94, Kraft paid $172 million. The deal expected to be approved by other NFL owners in October. This is a Boston 25 weather alert. You see a significant amount of rain in some parts of the state so far today. If it helps at all, babe, my sort of like understanding of brain injury and stuff, and John is probably like this too. Human beings don't have the same issues that primates have when they have brain disease and dementia. So forgetting things is usually one of the end stage things with primates. I watched it in Barbara Kent. That's why they'll test themselves and can you balance your checkbook and stuff. Okay. Whereas human beings just start to forget things. Brain farts. Yeah, all that stuff. Finally, some drying as we head into Friday. And we'll talk about better weather here as we move towards your weekend when I'm back here in 10. Adjusting to a world with higher tariffs, we speak with local small business owners about how they're adapting to this new environment. First, it was fare evaders. Now the MBTA is going out. Tom Kent went through it a little bit with Barbara Kent, where he couldn't take her out in public anymore. She had a refusal to put clothing on. He didn't like the leggings, which was a mistake he made, that he didn't like her wearing the leggings. And then after a while, she said she wasn't going to get you anymore. She was just going to wear a nightgown. But the issue was her nightgowns are way too short, and she kept tipping over. Okay, so that's when you regret telling someone not to wear leggings. The pants got to be up and tied as tight as they go, or like another thing under it. Okay. These women with the boobs, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, you just have to keep telling them that it's inappropriate. And I don't know who they're talking to where flashing people is okay to do. I don't know who they're talking to that they're being reinforced that that's okay to do. Some countries probably adopt decency laws, which is going to be probably shocking to quote unquote Americans if it comes to that it has to happen. Okay. Some of these people with the short shorts and the breasts, that's ongoing in Harvard, by the way. So I assume it's going on everywhere. That's when I don't mind you pulling out your children. Please pull out the children and go, you can't, you're out in public. You have to cover up. Remember when Kim Kardashian's mother had the conversation on her show? And I don't generally watch the show either, but clearly I was like intended to see it. And she just goes, why are we looking at your breasts right now? It's her daughter. I guess she knows how she can talk to her. Yeah.
I was looking for an attorney. I was looking for somebody that was going to be my mom's voice. So I found that crazy. Definitely made you feel like family, not just an attorney.
I do, but I'm keeping that anonymous. I do actually know another person who's having a little bit of issues with that, so her caretaker would probably appreciate advice about what to do about it. I think you can start out with other people are going to say something about it. Okay. Things like that. Other people are going to say something about it. They're not understanding what you're doing. Okay. Things like that. Right. If you've got to show people your incisions, you're angry, and so you're showing people your incisions. Okay. The brain makes up things. You're mooning people. I know I did tell people to do that. Yeah. Those people don't have dementia. Yeah, they're doing it on purpose because you locked a toilet. Right. I'm talking about something else. People that are trying to protect people that have brain disease, and sometimes they get angry. Okay. And then hopefully finally an argument is one that's not your size, right? So anyways, that's not what I'm talking about. Yeah, generally you can tell if someone is like mooning you on purpose or something's going on. Right, if you're going to lock up toilets like that, then because at nighttime the children aren't around or whatever, you're making up an excuse to arrest people or tell them they can't sleep somewhere. Okay. Whatever that is. So you were told in 2020 how insane it was what you were doing. It's still insane today. You don't have a protocol. There's no fall and winter protocol going on. Nope. There's no shelter to force people into. It opens on October 15th and you're on a wait list and they notify you if you get a bed.
Those refresher things only have a little bit of caffeine, like a soda.
Oh, did you just drink one?
No, I looked at it.
Oh, those things. You have an energy drink under the table.
I mean, you could drink one, though. It's got about as much as a soda.
Yeah.
I know.
Thank you. I kind of like soda, though.
I know. Those don't appeal to me, really.
Yeah. Oh, you had one?
No.
Oh.
Just looking at them, they don't really appeal to
Yeah.
me. And you got to brew them hot and then put them over ice. It doesn't make any sense.
Oh, because so you can use it in that thing, I guess.
Yeah.
They can pick up on a small, maybe tone of voice change or a sentence You say that piques their interest in all of
Viking? I don't think I should answer that.
Should not replace professional. Should not replace professional help. Yeah. So kids are using AI, right? And that's something you do have to accept.
Hello?
As a parent, what conversations we need to be having with your child, with your educator. What are you telling your students? Yeah. So it's open dialogue. It's always open dialogue. And technology is no different. For kids that are using technology, period, whether it's for
Okay.
for school or for social interactions, it should be monitored at an age-appropriate level by their caregiver.
No. Honestly, it's more sort of about the sweepstakes because I don't have the income to be able to take one of those. Sorry. I do love cruising, but I got to stay within my budget, you know? Yeah. Right. Okay, thank you. Okay. Bye-bye. I'm just being honest. I had to have the conversation with Oceana Cruises too. I did it for the sweepstakes. I'm just being honest. I just don't have the money. It's not something where it's not like I'm talking to Carnival and hold on, I'm in the middle of a thought and then I'll read your comment. It's not like I'm talking to Carnival and Royal Caribbean and then go, no, okay, well, I'm going to get this for this. So, right, it's not that. I wasn't pre-approved for a mortgage and now I'm like, there's not a possible way I could afford one of those cruises. But I like cruising, and I like vacations. I enjoy learning about them. Okay. I don't know. Someone wants to know if you want to try a free hypnosis session for behavioral modification.
No.
Okay, he said no.
What? They specifically asked me?
Yeah.
For what?
For behavioral modification.
Like smoking and shit?
Whatever it is that you want to change, like the drinking or something.
I don't trust that shit.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody up in my head.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if I would be they're laughing. I don't know if I'd be hypnotized either. I don't know. But some people do it for smoking, you know. I know.
Yeah, but what else are they gonna do to you? They could do anything else they want.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Chicken when you hear a bell.
Yeah, that's scary. That's why some people don't like psychotherapy, you know. They have a fear of it. They don't like cognitive behavioral therapy. Yeah, hypnotism is probably like even a further step. I can understand that. It takes a lot of trust to do cognitive behavioral therapy. That's why I think it's better when God does it. Yeah, just I explained some of it, but sometimes people need guidance with it because they're not aware of what's going on. And you can say that you did a video blog and you became really upset because you can see that you're making all these contradictions and you think that you're supposed to, like in a debate, you think you're supposed to have a set belief and never veer off from that. Don't worry about that. You're not George Bush and someone's going to play all your clips and go see how you contradicted yourself. That's for you. If you do a video blog and you listen to it or you journal, okay, and then you go, I can see that I went back and forth about that sort of thinking. You're considering both all these different thoughts and ideas. And I believe that as long as, say, the person that you agree is going to help you be like a guide or a guidance, a go-to person, you allow them to watch one of your video blogs, okay, or you discuss sort of what you're talking about, specifically what your thoughts were. In my opinion, that's how God does it. Okay, so you do have to be a little bit worried. I mean, I guess a little bit worried if you don't have anybody's input. Okay. You know how some people do those things and they go, if you leave a bad comment, I'm deleting it. I don't really believe in that. Okay, I don't really believe in that. Those people like want someone to talk to too, and then you go, okay, I disagree, or right, I'm considering that, but it's just not okay. Usually, what I find when I've spoken with numerous people that are homeless, they usually agree with the suggestion of something to think about. And some of them just go, because I think sometimes God makes it make sense if it's right. Okay. And if it doesn't, then it's just, maybe not. I have a lot of people that come and tell me a lot of stuff. So, um, usually I don't because it just doesn't come up. If people specifically ask me not to talk about them, I don't. Unless I do it like super anonymously, unless they're like I don't use their name and stuff, unless they're like adamant about don't do anything about me. I had that person, I explained it. So um, other people don't even say that, they don't care. I've had a person go, honestly, basically what you say is just the truth. So if you didn't know that about me when I like was on Facebook and stuff, I think people find it beneficial, and sometimes they just go not they know not to read it, or they just go the person's venting, and so I'm not gonna right. So I'm thinking right now if it's hard to change your mind about something. Brian, is it hard to change your mind about something?
Depending what it is.
Yeah. Well, you used to have that button, remember? Wasn't it something like I'm not always right, but I usually am, or something?
Oh, yeah. I'm right about a lot of things.
I think for people in recovery, me being one of them, um, that's part of realizing that your life is out of control. Okay, so as much as it's sort of like sometimes sucks, you just go, yeah, clearly whatever I've been doing is not really correct for me. So you would hope you'd be more open to that, in terms of why did God do this to me and stuff. And the 11th step, I would say that that's really a good way to explain that for people that have drug and alcohol problems or did. Um, it does make you much more open to cognitive behavioral therapy. Okay, maybe not until after about the first year or the third relapse. Okay, and then it's really not just abstinence and detox centers. It's really not. Okay, and I guess it can vary. I know myself personally. If I ever felt that I was going to somehow end up in a living, breathing hell that was bulimia, I wouldn't. I'd be worried too. I'd be worried too. Um, as I explained, that requires hospitalization. Okay, but I'm sure after so many hospitalizations, they would probably eventually go, okay, like what's going on in your life that you can change because and a little bit of growing up in learning coping mechanisms, alternative coping mechanisms, and stop avoiding your psychotherapy. When I don't like to exactly do this, but because my brain isn't anybody else's brain. Okay. They used to give bulimics trazodone, in case you didn't know that. Okay, they tried that for a while, and I was always told if you were on this or you're depressed, it's a drug to stabilize you while you're going to psychotherapy. Okay. It's important to remember that medication does not cure depression. It's distorted thinking. Okay. Some people with brain illness do have issues with depression because it has to do with the brain's functioning.
Can you have a cigarette?
Sure.
I'm gonna go smoke that.
Oh my God. Did everybody see what's the guy's name?
What?
The one who was saying to stop demonizing CBD.
Oh,
I don't know if he's saying watch out for this. Excuse me. Watch
said
out.
CBD.
I know, but it sounds like CBD. This is my fan base, okay, where it means CBD, and I'm sure we all laughed. I think that he is warning people because we were told too, we were warned. It's a certain dealer you need to go to because they're selling this stuff and they're putting all kinds of crazy stuff on it. Don't buy it at a gas station or anything like that. There's people that actually specialize in selling a product where there's no THC in it. And we hope that someone has actually inspected them. And I don't want to be a jerk, but my husband is buying the stuff. So I really hope you're not lying. To make sure there's no THC in it because he's not supposed to have THC because of his brain injury.
0.1%. He said.
Now it's 0.1%.
No, he
okay.
said that, but it doesn't come up in a drug test or anything.
Okay.
He said a lot of it's 0, but there could be like 0.1.
Okay. Well, they were the ones that warned us about buying it other places, which is probably what happened in Orlando. Right. Like the Delta 9 and all that, the legal stuff. Okay. That definitely seems to be working, by the way. Okay. It's sort of like when I quit smoking and I was like, I'm going to say I just smoked one and I'm going to drink a cup of coffee because he likes the whole process of. Okay. It's like when I explained, as soon as I got the money to buy cigarettes, this is when I quit for 5 years. As soon as I got the money for it, my panic went away. And I went, which is, of course, God, I'm just going to wait till tomorrow. Now I got the money, so I don't have to be terrorized that I don't have cigarettes. And then I didn't smoke for 5 years. Because God pointed out to me, it's all sort of obviously transference of other emotions and rage and stuff. My concern is insisting to smoke it out of a pipe. That's my concern. Now he's rolling them again for some reason. I should ask him why he's doing that. Okay. I hate to be an asshole, but usually every time Brian changes what he's doing, you need to ask him why he's doing it. Okay. He was insistent to have a pipe, and then he was smoking less of it by doing that. So I'm not sure why he's rolling them again. And where did he get rolling papers from? I don't think that was the cigarette he just rolled. Okay. When did he purchase rolling papers? Okay. He said something about his rolling machine earlier. I'll have to ask him when he comes back in. My concern about that is because of his previous other drug use, namely methamphetamine, which is the same thing as Adderall. And then whatever else people smoke in pipes. But that was my concern, if that would like trigger you to want to actually then be smoking something else. So. Oh yeah, we had an incident outside. Now that he's outside again. I explained to him what God does with the subconscious and amplifies it like Darth Vader. And then all of a sudden he starts talking about CSS. And I guess, you could drink one time and you could tell he wasn't even listening to me because I just said, you're not making any sense. Are you listening to me? And then all of a sudden he goes, yeah. It was like I warned him ahead of time and then God did it to him. I gotta use the restroom. Hold on. I just drank a cup of coffee. Okay, he's still out there. So he started asking me what time or where my appointment was Tuesday. I don't have an appointment Tuesday. You do. Okay, that's with the Social Security doctor. Okay. Yeah, like he just goes, that's not good. I didn't remember what kind of dog it was. I don't know if that's really that significant. Okay. I think it's significant that you asked for more medication that the hospital took you off of. I think that's significant. And that you stated that you felt that provider could give you Adderall. I think that's significant. And talking about CSS again. So that to him means that you're telling him he should drink again. That's what his brain is telling him. Okay, so if you're out there somewhere, okay, just so you know, I didn't purposely listen to your session. I heard like a sentence when he was talking to the provider, and that's when I radar went up. I heard specifically said they took me off of it because of the brain injury, but I really could use it. So I don't know. Only you know, and he knows if he was talking about Adderall because he'll straight out lie to me. I know that. He does it all the time. It's like pathological. So that could have been the conversation about Adderall, or it was about whatever medication you just put him back on that causes impotence. So apparently 2 more medications that a hospital detoxed him off of. He's gained 3 medications since he left that hospital by going to different doctors. I don't know if this provider knows that he just saw the doctor at Mass General just before visiting with you. Why didn't that doctor prescribe those medications or up his trazodone? He didn't discuss that with her? He keeps saying it's a mistake that the hospital made. Just like the hospital shouldn't have taken you off of Adderall because they don't know what they're doing. That's called doctor shopping. That's what drug addicts do. And they are mentally ill. And as I explained to you, it's not just drugs that you think. It's part of a mental health issue. Is he still out there? He does this where he I don't think he does it on purpose, but he stands right behind a tree and I can't see him out there. I noticed it last year too, but he's probably not doing it purposely. Anyways, I just wanted to get that out there. So mutual friend of ours, it actually was more of a friend of his. How do we know him? I mentioned before the hammer incident that he could recognize the police officer he's always talking about. He thought he was seeing him everywhere. I'm not sure if it's God is like indicating a trigger or you're traumatized or something. Okay. Maybe you think you are seeing a person everywhere you go. Okay. Yeah, just cops that clearly weren't that one specific police officer that I think was only trying to help him. So it becomes difficult for me. And I said that this is when it gets to the point where I don't know what to do for your best wishes, Brian. Okay. We had this whole discussion while he was in the hospital. So some people might suggest it's just because he's in recovery and he's past 3 months, and it has nothing to do with actually wanting to go to CSS. That would be why he said outside, you drink once and you go to CSS, like a person that's sick. What you do is you don't drink at all and you hope to get into a shelter, and don't get into the shelter, you go to the warming center. It's not like it's perpetual this. Okay? It's almost October. It opens October 15th. The other one opens December 1st. You just have to hold it together till then. And if you can't hold it together, then maybe you should go into a psychiatric hospital, because you're claiming that you have so much anxiety and you're so depressed you can't function. That doesn't require a detox. I honestly don't think he should be allowed to alter his medication without being hospitalized first. I have no comprehension of what these people are doing, and that's why I didn't want him going to Manit. Now and it's not even his fault. These people lied and said he would see a psychologist. He's not. Okay. And then you've got someone doing a telehealth that clearly doesn't even look at his medical record and doesn't want to talk to his healthcare proxy or his POA. So you just go. He's seen the doctor, which I thought was a psychiatrist, definitely an MD, at Spalding. That appointment will not be canceled unless she cancels it on us. We will be there. And he is going to explain to that doctor why he's on all these medications, who prescribed it. If they'll allow me, I should probably go in with them this time.
The amount of people reading aloud to their kids and kids reading for pleasure has dropped substantially.
Right, and I should say Brian feels that that the people here, the doctors, made a mistake by taking him off these medications. There's 3 of them that he's now got other providers to give to him. So I know you just go, you were supposed to have an interview with the provider there to make sure that your prescriptions that are current were being filled, including yours claiming there's an issue with your trazodone, and that's why you keep running out of it. That's what I was told. I wasn't told you were going to ask them for 2 more medications. Of course I was going to be mad yesterday. I still am mad. I know. Could you imagine if the social worker's pissed too? Oh, yeah. That's why I'm saying. It's been a while, huh? I can't even tell if he's standing out there. Just give me a couple minutes, because you go, where are you? What are you doing? Why are you not back in this apartment? Oh, I think I see him now. He's behind a different tree. I'm pretty sure that's him, unless it's someone else. No, that's him. Because he took an entire joint, so he's smoking more of that stuff today. That's why he's rolling it and not using the pipe. You got to learn to deal with some kind of reality. Everybody on the planet is, Brian. When I was talking to my sister, she didn't seem to be agitated and stuff and need to take 20 gummies. Yeah, like, really. That's your drug addiction talking. Just standing out there with him. So yeah, you do a drink and then you go to CSS and you just go, what the hell? What did this social worker actually say to you? You don't understand this is the World Wide Web. I don't set my stuff to private. I don't set my stuff. This is a live stream. This doesn't have to process. There's people commenting in it. My cigarette was hat lifted and I hit lit and I go, someone's thinking about me. And he goes, oh, maybe it's Jerry. I'm the Virgin Mary. It's supposed to be a joke. Someone's thinking about me. I mean, what the hell? Whoa. Anyways, it's the World Wide Web. That's part of the reason I do it. Okay, so only they know exactly what the conversations were. They probably, when he does telehealth, you really should record them just for yourself too. So you can go over exactly what was said. And then I can tell you what he's telling me about it. Because I don't really ask him about his sessions. I thought they were going to be therapy. Okay. He came out after talking to the provider and said he was getting 2 more medications. Okay. I don't know if the provider increased his trazodone as well. Okay. Because you're really depressed. Is the fact that you're impotent making you depressed, or you're homeless? Like when you said something about, I'm sorry, I did hear him say something about it's made worse by being homeless or something. Is that when the social worker suggested CSS? Okay. That would be depressing. When you go in your mind, you know that this is going to be the same bullshit you've been listening to every time you go to get help. Okay. Like that would be depressing to me. When you go, there's no possible way I'm getting actual therapy from this person. I thought they were actually going to help me feel better and stuff. And all they do is give me pills and then suggest I go to a detox again. That would be depressing. Yeah, like it's just, I'm tired, like right now, of I'm supposed to feel guilty because I'm now making him live outside. Am I the one who's making you live outside, Brian? And it's making you more depressed and you might drink because I'm making you live outside? He's probably mad about the live stream too. Maybe he's out there having a conversation with God. Yeah, I'll wait till he's done so I don't disturb him. It looks like he's walking back now. Just, if you're out there, think about exactly what you said, and I'm just explaining to you what his brain interpreted it as and said to me. That you basically told him that he should drink and go back to Gavin. I should probably shut it off while I'm out there. Huh? I'll turn it back on when I come back.